Hola. We're going to be talking about relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used to connect two parts of a sentence. They are generally used with adjective clauses. And remember that a clause is something that has both a subject and a verb, and then it's being used as an adjective, which means it's being used to describe or modify some other type of noun. So a person, place, or thing. For example, that is the camera that I took to France. I took to France is a clause because it has a subject, I, and it has a verb, took, and it's being used as an adjective. That I took to France is all describing a camera. So this clause is being used as an adjective clause, and I have to have a relative pronoun to connect it. In English, I can say that is the camera I took to France, but in Spanish, you can't get away with that. You actually have to say the pronoun. So that is the camera that I took to France. So there's a few different relative pronouns. Obviously, the most common one is going to be que, which means that, but you can also have quien or quienes, which means who or whom, and you can have el, la, que, or el, la, cual, or the plural version of that, and that's going to mean which. Um, Obviously, again, que is the most common, but these ones you're going to want to use after a preposition or after a comma. So who or which or whom or which is going to be used after a preposition or after a comma. You also have the neuter pronouns, so lo que or lo qual. And remember, anytime you're using a neuter something, it's because whatever you're talking about doesn't have a gender. So you're talking about like a situation or an idea, and it doesn't have a gender, so you have to do the neuter lo que or lo qual. So we're going to practice this a little bit. Again, these ones you use after a preposition or a comma. So let's just review really quickly prepositions. So remember we have a, to, ante, before, bajo, under, con, with, contra, against, de, of, or from, desde, from, or since, en, in, entre, between, hacia, toward, hasta, until, por, for, detrás de, behind, según, according to, sin, without, sobre, about, tras, behind, para, for. So all of these are prepositions. Anytime you see one of these prepositions before a pronoun, it's going to be one of these pronouns. You cannot use que after a preposition. So you can't say desde que or en que or con que. You have to say con el cual or con el que. So just remember, after these prepositions, you're going to use those other pronouns. So let's practice. La chica toca la guitarra. So the girl that plays the guitar is my sister. In English, you can also say the girl who plays the guitar is my sister, but because we don't have a preposition or a comma here, we're going to say que. So la chica que toca la guitarra es mi hermana. The girl that plays the guitar is my sister. You cannot say la chica quien toca la guitarra. You can only use quien after a preposition or after a comma. For example, esa mujer, comma, no es muy amable. So that woman who is not very nice wears a lot of jewelry. So because we have a comma here, we're going to go ahead and use quien. Technically, I could also say la que or la cual no es muy amable, that woman which is not very nice. But quien sounds a little bit better, so that woman who is not very nice. Ellos son las personas con, vamos al teatro. So they are the people with whom we are going to the theater. Because we have a preposition here, which is con, we're going to have to use quien. And because las personas is plural, it's going to have to be quienes. So ellos son las personas con quienes vamos al teatro. La orquesta sobre something escuchamos ayer fue muy buena. So the orchestra about which we heard yesterday was very good. Sobre is a preposition, so I'm going to have to use one of these bottom ones. The orchestra is not a person, so I'm not going to use quien. I can use either of these, and they're interchangeable. Qual is a little bit more formal, so you would definitely use that in writing, but in speaking, you could use either one. Orchestra is feminine, so it's going to be la, and then it could be la que or la cual. So the orchestra about which we heard yesterday was very good. Sobre la que or sobre la cual escuchamos, either one is fine. So the reason that we do this here is you can never end a phrase, you can never end a clause or a sentence in Spanish with a preposition. So this is a preposition con. You cannot say ellos son las personas que vamos al teatro con. You can't say they're the people that we go to the theater with. In English, you can say that, but technically it's still not correct. But you can get away with it in English. In Spanish, you cannot get away with it. You cannot end a you cannot end a clause or a sentence with a preposition. And so you have to say they're the people with whom we go to the theater, rather they're the people we go to the theater with. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Aquellos museos. So we have a comma here, so we know that we cannot say just que. Museos are not people, so we can't say quién. So it's going to be los. And then again, you can either say que or cuáles. It's interchangeable. So aquellos museos, los que están en España or los cuales están en España, son terribles. So those museums which are in Spain are terrible. I can't just say que because it's after a comma. Tengo una amiga no le gusta el chocolate. So I have a friend to whom chocolate is not pleasing. So is a preposition, which means I can't say que. I have to say quién. Que horror. Exactly. That is terrible. So you cannot say ever like tengo una amiga que le gusta or tengo unos amigos que les gustan. It always has to be a quien or a quienes, because gustar means to please. So you're actually saying I have a friend to whom it is pleasing or to whom it's not pleasing. Okay, conozco a una persona, something, pinta al óleo. So I know a person who paints oil paintings, or I know a person that paints oil paintings. I don't have a comma or a preposition, so I have to use que. And then alguien robó mi carro, something me enojó mucho. So somebody robbed my car, which makes me very angry. So this is not describing a specific thing, so it does not have a gender. It's describing the situation of somebody stealing my car. So it's going to be lo que or lo cual. They're interchangeable. Either of them is fine. So if somebody stole my car, which makes me very angry, because I'm describing the situation, it's going to be the neuter pronoun. Hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.